All right. So while we are still waiting for others to come in, I wanted to just quickly touch base with where we stopped last time. We were looking at Visual Studio Code. I taught you ladies how to build, how to create folders and now connect it to Visual Studio Code. I want to believe that those of us that were here actually understood it because we were actually doing it live. And that's very important when you're setting up a website. You need to, first of all, set up the different folders where you're going to have where you're going to separate every item. For example, all the photos will be inside the images folder. All JavaScript will be inside JavaScript folder. All what else? CSS will be under CSS folder and the likes. It's just good to tidy up your design space. It's just like your cupboard. You know the way you have a cupboard, your tops are separated from your dresses and all that, so that when you want to look for them, you can easily know where they are. So that's the essence of creating all those folders with different names. It's for easy accessibility, a tidy workspace, basically. you know. So we did that. However, like I said, I didn't plan to do that. Typically, before I get to that space, I will go through what we call building of your prototype. You first of all need to understand exactly what you are doing. You don't just jump and start coding. Otherwise, it would just seem like you're playing. You need to have a roadmap, So today's lesson is all about creating a roadmap. What exactly do we want to do? What do we want to do? What type of design do we want to create? Yeah, very, very important, And how do we understand the type of design? We are not designers. We don't have those expertise at all, And even the designers that have the expertise, there's something that actually prompts them to do things. And so that's what we want to look at today. We want to do a little bit of research into our competitors. Yes, we may have, um, as a web developer, as a profession, let's put it that way. If somebody comes to meet me to say they want to design a website, the first thing I would say, oh, what's the website? I'll just capture the basic information. But at the same time, before I proceed, I will tell them, do you have an example of a website that you would like your website to look like, or what website is inspiring you to do what you want to do? So that's a yardstick, or that's like a building foundation for me to start up from. So it's very important that we know who and where do we get those information from? From our competitors. From our competitors, the people that do similar things like us. Sometimes there's a tradition, depending on what industry it is. If it's a banking industry, you see that most banking industry or most bank websites, they look alike. They're structured similarly because it's some kind of like an industrial thing, and is fashion as well, or is it modeling? So they are kind of similar designs or structure for different industry. So you don't want to start feel, for instance, you're a training industry and your website looks like an electrician's website. Do you know what I mean? You want to look at what is there, what's being done in your domain, you know. And how do you do that? You definitely must have to research who your competitors are. All right. So I will just quickly, I think I have that done. Yeah, Microsoft. Yeah, this it? Oh, sorry, this is not for this class. Let me see. Um, hmm, where did I save it now? Because I'm going think it's Windows. Sorry, I'm opening another. Okay, that's it there. Okay. Okay. So So that's what I was just briefing you about. That before we start coding, we need to actually create our user interface. UX and strategy foundation. That's what this topic is all about. And so again, while we are designing your user interface, you also want to wear the cap of potential users of your website. How are they thinking? You want to put your shoes in your feet in their shoes so that you know how to create your website. How are they thinking? And this comes with a bit of research. So, and why is this important? Basically, is to ensure that the website meets just hang on, website meets real users' needs. You don't want to create a website that's, it's not your potential users cannot connect with. So that's why we need to research. We need to reduce guesswork and assumption. We need to improve usability and satisfaction, and we also need to help to prioritize the features of the website. you know so, and the way we capture this is, first of all, we need to design our prototype and even now test it with potential users. Test it with potential users that will now say, and you ask them questions. This is before you start building. Do you get it? So we are actually going to follow this to the letter. you know, um, we'll build a prototype using a simple application that everybody will be able to do. Yeah, then you will now go test it with your potential users before we now start creating it. All right. Um, Now, users research. First of all, how do you go about your users research? You want to identify your primary audience group. Who will be using your website? Who are the main people? Then conduct survey interviews or observations. So the prototype we are going to create, everybody will be able to do that. Yeah. So at the end of today, I will teach you how to do that. Everybody will log on and do that. We're going to be using what we call Marvel app to do that. It's very simple. It's drag and drop, you know. And so there, in that case, you'll be able to test. You'll be able to show people to take a look at it for you first before you design it. Then we're going to learn user goals, their pain points and expectation. This is from feedback that you're going to get. You know, what do you expect from the website you're not seeing? Do you get it? So you have to come up with some striking questions that will actually help you to make sure your website at the end of the day will be very enriched and will meet the user's expectations. You know, then use research to drive design decisions. So that's the main thing. Once you have this research, those feedback, then that is what is going to help you and now actually help to design what what you want to design. So usually to prompt the whole thing, you come up with your own sketch based on what your potential your competitors have. You come up with that design, then eventually you test that, then you now come back and refine it based on what your users or your research or what the research people that you gave the stuff to, what they said to you. You now go back and refine it. And also remember that it's not everything that people say to you during the research, during the feedback, that some might not be that relevant. If you have two, three people saying the same thing, then it's worth taking a look at, to consider changing whatever they're suggesting. Right. Any questions so far? I hope you guys are still with me.
Yes, we're still here.
Okay, cool. You have a question?
Let's see if you cover it first.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
So basically, like I said, the first thing is competitive website analysis. So who are your competitors? So you need to study your competitors' site for structure and features. What exactly do they have there? And what are these features doing? Because if we just jump straight to Visual Studio Code and just type code, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This part of it is so important that we can't skip it. So you identify strengths and weaknesses of your competitors. And guess what? Don't just focus on just one competitor. As far as I'm concerned, if I am building a website, I will go for at least four competitors. I'll be looking at the website that I wish to that I aspire to, to that whatever I'm trying to design, I'm aspiring to be like it. I will also look at even the ones that I just at times I overlook. There might be something very important that they have that these ones that you're looking at don't have. So it's just good to just go around and look, get four good websites or four relevant websites to your business and look at them, critique them very well. What is it that, oh, this one is not doing well? What is it that they are doing well? And you take note of what they're doing well. What is it that you need to change? So that's a starting point for you to now go for you to go design your prototype. Yeah. Then before you now get your feedback from your potential clients. Right. Okay. So now, I used this as an example just to show you. Of course, everybody here knows that I have a fashion brand. I believe so. And so looking to see, okay, how do I revive my website, or how do I create my website? This will be things I'll look at the type of websites that's similar. I will do something similar to what I'm doing. Like this, for example, I looked at it. This is an Irish website, Irish sustainable and ethical clothing brand offering mindful environment focused garments. So I looked at them, so that's their website. So I will be expecting you now. This is my assignment to you before we even get to the end of the class. I will need you to go to get at least minimum four website that looks like your website, that looks like that's in your industry. So at this stage, I'm sure everybody knows what they want to do. So go look for at least four websites, capture them, study them very well, put them side by side, and start writing down what you like in this. What design do you like? What content do you like in their own? Start taking note of them. Yeah. So this is number one for me. Then number two, this is also called Slow Street. Is obviously a boutique retailer. They're also into sustainability and all that. So those are the kind of things that I'm into. So while I'm designing, I'll be looking at, okay, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, and I'll remove that. And I have another fourth one here. This is more African. And yes, because most of my things is African mixed with English and all that. So this is kind of similar. I think they're in London. Then this is one of my ultimate ones, Diano. They're very good. They've been there for a couple of years now, and they're very good. They're in the United States, and so yeah. So I'll look at them. What do I like that they're doing? What don't I like? Blah blah blah. I also now have a list of orders, in the industry that I will also look at when I'm creating us. Okay, just to get an idea of what I really want, you know. Then, once I'm happy with that, oh, I didn't, something fell out of there. I'll do a paper sketch. I don't know if you guys know what a paper sketch is. I think I can quickly just find this let's say insert. I can find this on PowerPoint. Let me just search just to give you an idea of what a paper sketch is. Let's insert. Where is my uh, okay, I want to insert icon. Hopefully I can see paper sketch here. Just 1 second. Paper and paper. Ooh, P-E paper. Paper. Am I spelling that word? Paper prototype. Paper prototype. Prototype. Probably not here. Can't find that now. Let's see image. Okay, pardon me. I thought I had that inserted, but I did not. But I'm just going to go to the internet just to grab one. Just give me 1 second. So you can understand what a paper sketch is. Paper sketch prototype for websites. All right. Papers. sketch prototype. Paper prototype. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. So basically, what a paper sketch prototype is all about is just you grabbing your paper and pen, and start drafting and start drawing exactly what you think your website should look like. You know, I think I've seen one here now. Let me paste it. Mm. Oh no. Okay, so sorry about the delay there. I found it. I'm gonna go to insert, paper sketch.
I've put one in the chat. There's a link to a website I found. Is that similar
Oh,
to,
you found one. You found one, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I think I just downloaded one now. Okay, that's it here. And thank you for that, Zele.
no worries.
Yeah. All right. So that's a paper sketch. Can you see that? Can you see that's the paper sketch there? So basically what you do, you just grab maybe for a start, maybe you have your home page, your about us page. If for instance you are a services that you are going to be offering, maybe services page, or if it's products, whatever. But the basic ones, that you can build from the basic ones. So you have the home page, you have the about us page, you have the product or service page, you have contact us, those basic um, pages that you don't miss, on a website. So you can start with that. But first of all, so you need to sketch them. You can see that that's a paper sketch with pencil you know. So, and you get this paper sketch from the research that you have made, um, the research about your competitors. So you come up with that paper sketch. So once you're happy with that paper sketch, yeah, but always remember that from my experience with newbies in this space, when they are developing paper sketch or even building a website, they will forget the footer. They always forget the footer. All pages must have a footer. Do you know what a footer is?
Yes.
Okay. So let me not assume everybody knows that. So I'm going to just go to a website, a typical website now, and show you what a footer is, and show you the anatomy of a website, the must have on a website. So I'm just going to just no website in mind, but I'll just share my browser and I'll search well, that's Chrome, Google Chrome, right? That's Google Chrome. Is that Google Chrome? Yeah. Okay. So that's Google Chrome there. Let me just go to which website did I go to now? I just go to Google and google.com. Yeah. I'm sure you're seeing my stuff. Let me check Diano. Diano. I think I actually have it on my. Let me just copy one of the websites and link I have here. Okay, let's go with this one here, or this one here. I'll go with this one. Okay, so let's see the anatomy of a website. A must have on a website. I am operating from a MacBook. Is this called a Mac? Yeah, a MacBook, and my MacBook is small. So that is why you see this. It seems like I'm on the phone. Otherwise you won't see this. So this website obviously is device sensitive. Depending on the device that you are viewing a website, it will automatically show you a certain user interface. So And I will show you as well that when we start creating our website, how you command your code to say, listen, if this website is being viewed on a small screen, these are the things you show. If it's being viewed on a large screen, these are the things you show. So it just depends on what you are and viewing the website from. So this is Diano. It's one of the African websites in America. They sell African clothes. They're very popular. So like I said, it must have, at least in the homepage, you want to have the header. So depending on what you want your header to be, do you want it to be like like a video at the background? I will show you how to add videos in the background of your website as well. That's very simple. Do you want to have that? Do you want your banner to fill up the screen, or do you want it to be halfway? There's a way to go about that as well. And look at the menu here. This menu is showing that these three crumbs here. They're showing because I am on a smaller screen. Otherwise, you won't see it. You will just see the title of the different menu. It could be homepage. Let me see what we have here. So you can see that bestseller, new collection, women, blah, blah, blah. This is because I am on a small screen. Otherwise, this would have been somewhere at the top here, you know. So this is a must for all websites. You must have your menu, and your menu should be consistent across the board so that people can easily navigate. Some people, when they start going deep into different pages on the website, they won't know how to go back again. Your website should be easy to navigate, and what allows you to navigate through your website easily is your menu. So all the pages must have a home page for you to quickly jump to your home page if you want to go back, to start from the scratch and all that. And also the crumbs as well. If you want to navigate backwards, the arrow to take you back when you go to an inner page, that should be there as well. All right. So this is where you're looking at the front page. I'm scrolling now. You can see that you see the menu of this website. You see the way it's not disappearing. That's a good feature. It's not disappearing. So if I want to go straight to the menu, I can just go straight. But there are some websites you just scroll and the menu is gone. You have to scroll down, down, down again to go back to the menu. But they made the menu fixed while it's being designed. So you need to learn how to do all this. So it's fixed menu at the top. So I can scroll now. You see that? The menu is still fixed up there. Right. So I'm going down, going down, going down. I'm going to make sure that they have their footer. You see that? You see, they have different sections. So let's see how the footer is like. You can see that that's the footer. So you see that? That's the footer. The footer is where most of the times you put your small icons for your social media pages, and some vital information. So for all the pages, you must have this footer constant. So that, for instance, I want to quickly go, maybe I'm an inner page, I want to quickly look at the size chart. I don't have to come to the home page to look at it again. Or frequently asked questions, I have to start looking, where do I find that? So the menu and the footer, they're usually constant in the website. So you just need to understand all the anatomy of the website when you are coming up with your own structure. Yeah? So does that make sense? Any question? So you will be going to think about how the structure of your website will look like, bearing this in mind that there are certain things that are constant. All right. So let me test this now. Let me check our own and let's look at collections and see. Okay, she has a couple of collections there. Can you see what I spoke about? I'm going to close this again now. Yeah. Um, Remember, I said when you are creating a website, you must make sure if you go to a page, there must be something to take you back to another page. All these little things you might not know, but they matter a lot. The usability of your site. So it's okay. My thing is getting slowing down. Just give me 1 minute. I don't know why it's slow. It's my battery. When my battery is getting low, it's usually slow. Let me plug my thing. Sorry, it might just take a bit of time for this. Can you see the circle rolling? Or is it only me that's seeing it? Can you see that? My
Yeah,
battery's
cursor.
just Yeah, yeah, it's just running low. That's why. Um, anyway, let's see. All right, probably I will just come back, see if it will even allow me. Uh, okay, let me be talking while while it's still rolling. So I don't know
So,
if you took,
sister, I
yes.
have a question. I don't know if about the prototyping and the website that I'd like to do because it hasn't been done before. So should I wait until you finish the explanation or
You mean to build the prototype?
yes, I already have an idea of the website and stuff like that, but I haven't really seen it anywhere. So I'm having a challenge at the practical, how to practically bring a first version of the website into being.
Yeah, so that's where the prototype comes into play. And listen, when you do that, we need to test it. After you have that structure built, it's very simple. Everybody should be able to do that. And to seem like to resemble the complete version of your website. You'll be able to navigate from one point to another with the prototype as well. So you can just share with somebody, okay, what do you think? Get the feedback before we start building. Yeah. All right. So my thing is working now, right? Is it? Oh, okay. Shit. I spoke too fast. All right. So, but maybe let's see if I can just go back to my PowerPoint. Okay. So once you have that done, yeah. So this is the application you're going to be using. Is very simple. Um, you Zilly, you may be familiar with this Marvel app. I didn't spell that was Marvel, M-A. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called Marvel app. So Marvel Lab is a rapid prototyping tools for basically testing your design first before you start, testing it with potential clients and getting feedback before you actually now start designing it. So that's the website there. So if you guys want to quickly just go to marvelapp.com from your computer, marvelapp.com is very simple and I need you to sign up. Now, with the Marvel app, you can only build one website or one app, you know, for free. If you want to do more than that, you will have to pay for it. I think it's I don't know, is it 20 something, 30 something euros per month, but just keep to just the one site that we're doing. So, but with that one site, you can create several pages. It doesn't matter. Just keep to the one site. Okay, so we're going to be using this Marvel app. And these are some, I just put two examples of what you create in Marvel app. So this is a website that's created with Marvel app. It's just drag and drop. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. And that's an app as well. So there are loads of sample website that's been created in Marvel app that you can actually even use the sample because you're free to download the sample and change and edit to suit what you want. Yeah. And now let me stop sharing this and I'll go to the internet and see how we can start working with Marvel app. I'm just going to show you some key things in Marvel app. However, you need to do your homework this week, please. Please, please, aunties, please do your homework this week, please. And the homework is that you are going to draw a sketch. If possible, once you do your sketch, you can put it on our WhatsApp group. Ooh, is this okay? Da, da, da. Let's discuss. Let's chat. Yeah, take do a structure of what you think and don't just sit down and draw it on your own. Look at similar websites and you're using pen and paper, yeah, pencil and paper, whatever, draw it. Then once you've drawn it, before you go to Marvel app. So I'm going to show you briefly how to work with Marvel app. Okay. And most likely, when I'll show you this. Should I stop this so that I'll stop this recording? I'll do another recording for the practical version in case you just want to go straight to the Marvel app tutorial, if that makes sense. Is that okay? Stop recording this and start again.